Hello everybody, this is your future captain speaking, Jetta, and welcome back to my podcast once again. It's super crazy how it has been over a month, and how much my YouTube channel has grown since I've started to put out and publish these podcasts. I'm super excited because I have a lot of ideas in the near future with these podcasts. I hope to expand and bring some surprise guests on here to kind of talk about some things and give a different perspective. So this week's topic I put out on my Instagram story, once again, Instagram and Facebook, and we kind of decided that there were two topics that were a solid tie. So it's life with food allergies and college tips. But I decided, because I talk a lot about school and school can drive me insane sometimes, I decided that why don't I touch on some food allergies, because not a lot is known about food allergies and not a lot of people know that I have them. So just a little history of my food allergies. I was born with them. My milk, kind of like a lactose intolerance. I was born with it, but then some just kind of developed as I was older, and I've just kind of figured out that there are ways to help with it, without going the more pharmaceutical way, which is what I don't want. I didn't want to be on medication for my food allergies, and I just I don't like food as it is. I'm pretty picky, and I literally stay away from everything I don't like. But I didn't want to completely avoid certain foods. To be honest, having a lactose intolerance is literally the worst thing ever when you absolutely love cottage cheese and will eat it every single meal of the day. It's quite strange. So I'll just kind of give a rundown of things that I do. So kind of number one, I guess, is avoid. Of course, number one is just completely avoid it, which I have to do with chocolate. And a lot of people freak out when I tell them that it has almost been 6 years since I have eaten chocolate or consumed any cocoa products. I don't even use it on my skin. I don't even, no, no thank you. If someone hands me chocolate, I'll be like, no. But nobody believes me when I tell them that I have a chocolate allergy, which is quite strange, but at the same time, I guess everybody likes chocolate, but I don't. So I completely avoid chocolate. I am never eating it again. It caused me so much pain and, caused me a lot of headaches, and it was not fun. It wasn't pleasant, and it wasn't even worth it. So I kind of just decided, well, you know what? Because I was having some issues. I thought to myself one day, and I thought, okay, it's probably something that I'm eating. Because, so your brain controls, your whole body, right? So I kind of suspected that, the phrase, you are what you eat, right? But I kind of suspected, okay, well, maybe it's something that I'm eating. Maybe it's something that, I don't know. So I just one day decided, you know what? No more chocolate. Never again in my entire life. So this upcoming May will be 6 years since I have eaten chocolate. Since I've touched chocolate. So just number one tip, just completely avoid it. But if it's causing you that much misery, it was causing me, just completely avoid. Pull out the whole pilot excuse, see and avoid, right? So that is a new fun fact about me that not a lot of people know. So please do not give me chocolate. Okay, so number 2 tip is just kind of like, um, kind of separate yourself from it for a while. Because I was trying to figure out, okay, am I allergic to gluten? Am I allergic to, milk? So lactose. What exactly is bothering me? What is causing me to be so sick all the time? And the most interesting thing happened when I stopped gluten. So I just kind of want to explain this because when I was gluten free, people didn't believe me. People didn't believe I was gluten free for a reason. They just kind of thought, oh, you're faking it. But I didn't want to do the whole doctor process because I had been previously, like, I had inquired about it with a doctor of mine, and they were just kind of like, oh, it's no big deal. But I wanted to figure it out for myself, because I thought, you know what, well, I don't want to run around and chase doctors and chase testing, and I didn't want to do the, I think blood work. I just didn't want to chase something around. So one day I decided, well, let me see if it's gluten, because I would have issues when I would eat gluten. But I went gluten-free. I did the gluten-free diet, so like anything that was gluten-free, I ate. It was fine, like fruits, vegetables, but I also got some gluten-free bread, and so I was still eating bread, but it was their gluten-free brand. So I actually felt worse. I felt way worse on this gluten-free diet than I did when I was just eating, regular bread. So then I was a little confused. I was like, why do I feel worse? Why do I feel more sick? And the see and avoid tactic wasn't working very well for me. So then, like, the next thing I kind of tried was, well, what if I'm lactose intolerant? No, that fell short, like, super quickly, because I found out that, no, I'm not lactose intolerant completely. I just can't drink a glass of milk, but I can eat a small bowl of cottage cheese and be fine. Which sounds strange to most people, but which brings me into my next point of limiting. So, like, third point here is limiting. I am allergic to milk, but it's not to the point where it's like people with severe lactose intolerance, if you know what I mean. But my tip is to just severely limit yourself, so then you can kind of see, well, where's my intolerance level? Where is this? But for me personally, like, the journey of having food allergies has been a blessing in disguise. I'm already a picky person, so, like, I can tell you everything I don't like right now, which most people will be like, seriously, that is so dumb. But for me, I used to think food allergies was a curse. I used to think I can't eat anything, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. But I soon came to the conclusion that this is actually a blessing, because I eat pretty healthy. I've definitely changed my diet over the course of the years to adapt. And if you ask me, like, how's life with food allergies? I'll be like, oh, I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know anything different, and I don't quite remember anything from, like, how I was 4 years ago. I completely forgot. But it's really just about finding that middle point of, where am I on the allergy spectrum, and then just adjusting my diet for that. And of course, I'm not severe with anything besides chocolate, so I don't really have enough advice or experience for people with a little bit more severe. But the reason why I say that it's a blessing is because it's really helped me adapt. and learn the concept of adaptation, because there will be challenges that come up in life, and there will be moments where you're thinking, what do I do? What do I do? But from my experience, I've just been taught whatever comes up, whatever health concerns come up, we just adapt and we change, and it'll be okay, because honestly, my allergies are lifelong, but it doesn't impact my life anymore. It's just changing and adapting. But it's been a blessing because my health is pretty dang good. And I want to touch on something here, because I also get asked this. It's, what do you eat? And to be honest, what do I eat? Lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, quite a bit of cottage cheese, despite my milk issue, but I still eat pizza. I still eat pretty much normal. I just severely limit myself and kind of change the course of my diet. And another topic that got brought up was travel, like Hawaii, traveling. So how do I handle my food allergies when I travel? I don't. Just kidding. I actually do. So when I travel, I just make sure, okay, does this have chocolate in it? That's my biggest thing. And if it has chocolate in it, no. I won't even know. I won't even try it. So when I'm on vacation, it's just kind of limiting myself and being like, okay, well, I ate this for breakfast, I ate this for lunch, so for dinner, I'm gonna get this instead. And just kind of adapt that way and kind of change everything, because you get to know your body throughout your life, and I think it's pretty cool. It's really interesting, especially since I started flying. I've gotten to know my brain and my balance in my body a lot better than what I did 8 months ago. So with my food allergies, it's the same way. I've just kind of been able to pinpoint my triggers. So, like, I can't drink a glass of milk, but I can eat some cheese. So I just kind of, like, figure out the middle point, and that's what works best for me. But I always get asked really interesting questions about food allergies. Another one that I will sometimes get asked, and I didn't really get asked this until I hit university life, and it was, how do you survive as a college student? It's not that hard to find food that is good. Salads, my favorite, all-time favorite, are the pre-meal or the pre-packed salad meals. I shop at Lynn's for the people who live locally in Cedar City, but Walmart also has them, and they're really good. I love them. They taste good. They have healthy, good ingredients in them. So, but as a college student, I'm eating the same things that I was before I came to college. So I didn't really necessarily change my diet, except for I added more vegetables and more fruit, just to keep some nutrient levels up. And so it really hasn't been much of a difference. I haven't had any problems. It's been really nice. But it's always, honestly, the reaction is kind of priceless when people find out that I have food allergies, because I don't normally talk about it, and I don't have anything published about it yet. I would love to write a blog post a little bit more in detail. I have mentioned the chocolate, but still not a lot of people know that I'm allergic to chocolate. So the look on people's faces when I say yeah, is a little bit funny. But did people believe me? And this is a question that I've recently gotten asked because I was talking to somebody here at university, and they're like, did people believe you when you told them you had food allergies? Honestly, it depends. It really depends. When I kind of first started, I don't know, experimenting with food and trying new things to figure out that middle point, the middle ground for me, a lot of people didn't really believe me. A lot of people just kind of like, what? That makes no sense. But in the end, I don't really care, like, personally, because it doesn't affect my life as long as I stick to what I've been doing. But the biggest part for me is the sucrose sugar allergy. So yes, refined sugar, I don't like it, and it doesn't like me. So, I mean, I'll still eat stuff with sugar in it, but am I gonna eat cake or, like, ice cream or, like, really desserts in general? No. Which sounds really boring because people ask, well, what do you do for your birthday? I think I did fruit one year. That was pretty good. I did a fruit cake, but it was an actual, like, carved watermelon. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Definitely the best birthday cake ever. Just a carved out watermelon. But I'll do strawberry shortcake, and I'll just eat the bread. I like the regular bread. I don't know. It's just a bread with strawberries, and that's all I will eat. But the refined sugar is what gets me the most. So with traveling, it's quite hard. I severely limit that. But with me just being everyday life, it's a lot of fruits, vegetables, anything organic. And so I kind of want to get into, because I just published my blog post for the week yesterday. I did it a little late. I've been super busy. But I wanted to talk to you about kind of like an epiphany that I had about, 3 years ago, in the midst of all of this food allergy, trying to figure things out 3, 4, 5 years ago. So I discovered the difference between organic and non-organic foods. I don't really want to touch on it in this podcast. However, I'll provide a link in the description of a blog post that I kind of touched on the differences. So I discovered that gardening was a big motivator for me, because it's such a relaxing hobby, and it's so rewarding. And I talk about that in my blog post for this week. However, I've come to the conclusion that growing your own food is better than buying it. And I know that we can't really do that in the state of Utah where I'm from, but being able to just have that source of homegrown food is amazingly rewarding. But I really do have a pretty good green thumb, and I've acquired a lot of houseplants in my lifetime. So I've got a whole room full at home of all of my houseplants that are absolutely thriving. But it's really been an interesting journey, and I've truly figured out that life is about the journey and not the destination necessarily. Because one moment can take you one direction, and the next moment can take you a different direction. like figuring out if I was gluten-free or not, to some extent, but I just wanted to try different things and see what would help me best, because not everything worked. Not everything was perfect, but everything has improved a lot. And I live more than a normal life. But I always get asked about food allergies, and my favorite thing is when I would talk about when I would get roped into playing the game Two Truths and a Lie. And, I'd always say, like, 3 specific things. Like, I broke both my elbows the same day, and I always say I'm allergic to chocolate, or, like, I don't know, I am the middle sibling, or something like that. And people just get so confused because they think that I'm allergic to chocolate. They think I'm not allergic to chocolate, so they think that one's the lie, but it's not. And I did break both my arms on the same day, at the same second. Crazy. But, yeah, and so the main focus here is there's going to be challenges, and there's going to be some things that might take a different turn along the way. Like, for example, I really thought I was gluten-free. I really did, but I really truly wanted to just try something and see if it'll improve. But it obviously did not improve. So I kind of want to talk a little bit really quickly about a little bit more about gardening and what kinds of vegetables have helped me. So there's no scientific evidence that I can really link to this, of course, because I don't know, it's just something I've tried, it's something I found to be true, but of course everybody is different. But so I love bell peppers. Like, if you see me walking around campus, I'll usually have a bag of bell peppers and I'll just be eating it. A lot of people think it's kind of funny, but it really does help with allergies. And for me, it's really a comfort food, honestly, which sounds strange, but I like it. So with that being said, I also love water. Water is literally the best thing ever. So water is a good source. I would say like anything herbal. Anything herbal is perfect. But I really wanted to touch more on gardening than actual food allergies because that's quite a boring topic. So gardening, there is actually a new squash. Yes. A new squash / gourd that me and my family decided to try to grow. I believe it was a couple of years ago. And I'm telling you, it is so good. So everybody on this planet needs to try Canada crookneck squash. It is absolutely delicious. Like, you can probably picture a sweet potato, but way better. And I love sweet potatoes, and I never hate on sweet potatoes, but I'm sorry, the Canada crookneck squash is the best. And I also have a tip that if you're growing peppers, do not transplant them. Peppers and tomatoes, don't transplant them in blatant heat of the day. And of course, everything that you plant outside, make sure the last frost is hit, because a lot of people last year, this didn't pertain to us, thank goodness, but a lot of people last year kind of planted their crops outside early, so they transplanted them from the seed trays inside to their actual garden outside, and they froze. because they didn't wait until the last frost. Although we had some pretty unexpected weather last year. So within the next couple of weeks, few weeks maybe, seeds should be going into their little planters back at my house, and I'm so excited. I'm not quite sure yet what we're growing, but I'm pretty sure it's tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, onions, basically anything that goes in salsa. And then we always get peaches from the farmer's market, and those are literally the best peaches because they're so fresh and they have a fresh taste. But my favorite is to let it sit out on the counter for like 2-3 days, depending upon, the ripeness of it already, and just let it sit out and then bite into it, and it's all juicy and it gets your shirt stained. It's so amazing. But also, another fun gardening hack, like tip, is try something new. Because last year we tried what are called jade beans. So you can imagine kind of like a string bean almost, but they're called jade beans for whatever reason. They're the color of a jade. So it's pretty cool. And those plants produce so much and so fast. So like you would reap the harvest and you'd get like a pound off of, we had 4 plants or something, and then you'd wait about another, I think it was around 4 weeks, and then you'd harvest again. So it was just kind of like a 4-week on and off type thing. So we got about, I'd say, 4 harvests from that. But they make really good canned beans. Just like kind of the green beans you get from the store. They're really, really good.